Exposed XCN's massive scam implosion. XCN is doomed. This is NC Hammer Crypto. My name's Neil, keeping technical analysis short and sweet as always. Shout out to Pete Marquez for the title. Now, starting with Bitcoin, I already recorded this video once, about 11 minutes of my life, and the audio did not record, so you may not get as much information on this video. But again, Bitcoin can see a further drop to 93,000. It's not looking like it's getting a whole bunch of support, but the cryptocurrency market has a tendency to just rip right back up. As we've seen in previous history, whenever we were below the 200 EMA a little bit further, we had that push back up to the 200 EMA before getting that last rejection, and a lot of people selling off right before the major pump around 50 to 60%. And that's kind of what we can expect to happen with Bitcoin now. We are underneath the 200 EMA. Going back in history, we did test the 200 EMA, came back up, and then had that immediate rejection below the 200 EMA before that consolidation. Looking at this, we had the pullback, the immediate pullback up before the rejection underneath the 200 EMA, so we could see that trickle upwards towards the 108,000 right at the 200 EMA before dropping again and doing that last liquidity sweep around 93,000. Moving right over to XCN. Also, I'm going to bring up real quick, those of you who are not subscribed, like and subscribe, as I am almost to the goal that I need to get, where I am not wasting my breath for nothing. And they already put the advertisements at the beginning of the videos. I didn't vote for it, but at least if you guys don't want to donate, have YouTube pay me for them placing those ads on my videos. So moving right into XCN, same thing as yesterday, same thing as a couple weeks ago. We are in that decline, so a lot of people are freaking out. Their fear to index greed is off the charts. A lot of people are fearing that this is going to drop lower, which is a high possibility. There are some people who have millions of dollars trying to short Bitcoin, and they want to make a bunch of money in that short, and that could drag the rest of the market down with it, pulling this down all the way to 0.002 or roughly 0.003. This is on Coinbase chart. I should have pulled this up on the other video prior, but this one wick right here from back in June of 2022, we tested all the way down here at 0.004, roughly 0.005, before ultimately immediately pushing right back up towards, I think we closed right here around 5 cents, which is very strange, right? But it's pretty accurate because we had right here nearly around 5 cents, a little bit of rejection. Crazy how that works. In predicting the future, you can't predict the weather, but with cryptocurrency, it's a pretty cool skill when you can kind of predict the future and what may happen. We could be seeing that liquidity sweep down here to 0.004. The only real resistance that we had prior or below that would be right in this area. I actually drew these lines in here in the previous video and they seem to stay. But we see down here from previous history, going back in time, back around April of 2023, this is an area where we had some support and resistance before ultimately pulling down here to the 0.0017. I personally don't think we're going to be hitting that 0.0017. I think we may see that 0.0039, maybe the 0.004 to 5. But beyond that, there's a lot of support, and we'd be pretty far away from that 200 EMA, and it would be necessary to pull it back up. And with that pull back up, we could see it breaking this downward trend line, because when we are looking at this in the daily, the 200 EMA, let's draw it for you, is right here, could be curving slowly downwards, and it is lining up with this downward trend line. The coin itself could be pulling down, getting that liquidity sweep because of the RSI down here, right? You see the RSI? We could see that liquidity sweep within this area before ultimately pulling right back up, testing that 200 EMA, may get a little rejection in this area before breaking that. And once that's broken, I very much like to bring up the fact that Tornado Cash, 20 USDT free using the reference link below. And I'm just trying to make you guys some money. I'm not using it for any other benefit. If you guys don't want to spend money, the reference link gives you 20 bucks. Tornado Cash is at $16. Just 2 or 3 days ago, it was at $12, up over 32% since the last videos I made. I'm going to do a video specifically on this because I need to go over this in detail. So those of you who are just for XCN, definitely check out the other video because there's a lot of information in there. Downward trend line in XCN on this graph, we see that we are working within this range. Those of you who are new, this is roughly the range that we want to be staying within. However, there are things called bear traps where it sweeps down for the people who think it's going to go lower and immediately pulls right back up into the channel and then pulls right back up towards the top before breaking that. And again, referencing Tornado Cash, let's look at what happened when we had a pullback underneath the 200 EMA. The 200 EMA on this is a little bit more linear, but once we broke that downward trend line, nothing but profit. Just like basketball players, nothing but net, but this is even better because we get paid for it. And I know it's very scary for the people who have been investing in cryptocurrencies that are just constantly tanking. But I mean, it's the way the game works. Nobody receives quick money. Day trading, yes, it's a possibility to make substantial gains very quickly on, for example, 200 and something, 256% in a day with XCN back here in April 7th of 2025. Once we do that bear trap or liquidity sweep, whatever it may be, pushing down within this range, we could immediately see that pull back up and test this downward trend line as well as the 200 EMA at the same time, which it will be a very strong resistance level. We may see a little bit of pullback, but if we can hold that area, get a little bit of consolidation and ease on over this, we can expect a major pump upwards. Why? Because when we are looking at a previous area such as this right here, it was in that downward consolidation. And you thought that it may go lower because we were underneath the 200 EMA. We were starting to get a red CM guppy, but immediately pushed right back up towards this black downward trend line, which came later in the fact. We didn't know where that would be pushing to. We could have expected to push all the way up here to the 0.032, being the 618 Fibonacci retracement, but it did not. It got a little resistance here at the 0.5 more or less, and then started trading within this area between the 0.382 and the 236 before getting rejected, and then we are working within this area. Now what we would be doing is doing a Fibonacci retracement from this point to here. If we can hold that, the 618 is right here at 0.0189, which, keeping in mind, it would be breaking this downward trend line. However, if we do get that further drop right in this area, it pushes it a little bit higher around the 0.018, which is where a lot of people have been trapped, around 0.016 from the comments I've been reading. Some people are trapped even higher. Don't fear the market. Let it ride out. For those of you who are trapped, it's not a quick money scheme. It's something that can make you more money than your daily job. I've earned thousands in a day. One example, I'll actually bring it up real quick, is Tron on, what was it? Bittrex got removed. I guess I can't show you the evaluation, but there was this one point where it just had a major liquidity sweep, and I made $1,500 in a second because I had my buy stop or buy entry very, very low. It came down, tapped it, had my entry, and immediately pulled back up $1,000 in a second. I work a lot of hours back in the day to make $1,000, but when you see that happen in the market, you get a little skewed on the mentality. You say, why do I work a job when I can do that? Well, because the crypto market does not work that way. As we've seen these past months, you can have a long drawback period, losing thousands, but you don't lose it unless you sell it, right? So we can see that liquidity sweep, bear trap, where we have a quick pullback, immediate pullback up, maybe test this as resistance, but ease up over it before having to break this 200 EMA right here and then test within this range. And ultimately, I want to see a slow consolidation period. I don't want to see any quick movements, because the last time we saw quick movements, we had quick rejections as well. If you get that slow consolidation over the downward trend line, and again, exampling Tornado Cash, even though it's taken some time, it's only been in profit on its way up. So XCN, don't fear, hold on to your bags, and it's just a matter of time before we start seeing those all-time highs of 10 to 18 cents and beyond for XCN. It's partnering with XRP, XLM, and quite a few others. So those of you who say XCN is dead, it's not. For the titles that I put saying XCN is dead, it's not. It's just something I got to do to compete with the other people who are already monetized. But that's kind of it for XCN's video. Tornado Cash. Use the reference link. Get yourself some Tornado Cash before it's $26, before it's $32, before it hits $39, $50, $100. It's gonna start running. So for those of you who have entered using that reference link, $20 for free. And I've seen some of you have. If you don't want to use your own money, that reference link is a giveaway token to get free money to earn even more, because with $20, you'd already be up 32% from 2 days ago. I'm going to do a video on Tornado Cash. That's it for the video. Like and subscribe if you haven't. Good luck. Have fun with it. I will see you on the next one.